Hello everyone. Today I want to show you how to create a role-based sign up and login system. So as you can see on my screen, it says here is a user role-based sign up and login system that allows users to use one login form and they are directed to a different page depending on their role. So we have two types. We have admin and we have user. When user logs in, if they are just user, they will be taken to a home page, while if they are admin, they'll be taken to the admin page. So let me show you how it works. I've already created two accounts, so these are the test accounts. So admin, I'm going to log in as admin. Password is just 1 2 3 4 5 6. And then when I log in, Tally logs in. Okay, then it shows it. Welcome Tally, you are admin, and total users, there are 3. Then if I log out, I click on login. So let me log in as Smith. I log in, Smith logs in. Welcome Smith, you are user, and here you can see that Smith is not entitled to see how many other people have accounts on this system. So Smith logs out, and then when you click on create account, you can see this is just a simple account sign up form. You can type in user. So let's say the user is John, then his password is 1 2 3 4 5 6. Then he selects role as user, then submits. Hey John, your account is being created. So if we try to create account again with John, we type in the password, either we select admin, say username is already registered. So we are checking the username to see if it is already in the database or if it is not. If the username is already registered, that name will not be registered again. But if we try to register another name, say Jones, we create password, then we select the role as user, then we submit. Hey Jones, your account has been created. Okay, so let's go to the code now. So I have created a folder which is named role-based system. In this folder there is CSS folder which I downloaded Bootstrap 3.3.7.css and Bootstrap .min.css, and then I created a main CSS. This file is just to style the page, so that just to align this login form to be at the center. That's the code we have in the CSS, in the main CSS. And in the index page is just the introduction or the description of what the project is about, and then there are just two links, the sign in link and the create account link. So the main meat is found in the I've actually used Bootstrap JS as well as Jquery, and then I created a person.js which I will show you on the functions that I created to process a Jquery, and the function that I created that are processing because we are sending the form data through Ajax to PHP. So the login form, as you can see, it has the same links as the index. Then this is just we created a form which we called a login form. Then it has username, ID username. We're going to call the ID in the JavaScript file. Then we created another password, type password, name password, ID password. These are just errors that will show when you click. If you haven't typed in anything, an error will be shown in here. Like when you get back to the page here, if you want to submit the form without putting in any input, username is required. So let's say you type in username, then they'll ask you password is required. Type in one, then they'll ask you are not registered. So we get back here, then the submit button, and this information is just for testing purposes. So for the login to be processed, first let's go to the register page. The register page, forget about this information. I'll talk about this information later. This highlighted information I'll talk about it later, as when we begin to process the page to PHP. So the register form, it has we named it a register form. Then the username, ID username. Then we created a function here which we say username validate. As you can see, when I click it, it shows where we can find the function being called. Then password, also validate password. Then here, this is where the user selects what kind of an account they are creating on that platform. But in the real world, when somebody is creating an account, you not want them to have access to your admin page, so you are not going to include this issue where the user has to select if they want to be admin or they just want to be user. All that you do is you create your own admin account, and then this will be hidden, it will not be there. If they are already a member, they will click on login in. So let's go to passing.js so that we can process the page to PHP. So function validate name, we said if user.length is less or equal to 3, then we'll give them an error. Username can't be less than 3 characters. Then we add class text danger. So this text danger is a bootstrap class which makes the entire text into color red. So let me demonstrate to you how, when we come to get accounts, then if we try to submit, we say username is required. If somebody types in just this, then we'll tell them password is also required. Then if they don't type in the password, we will not process the information. Then when we come to submit the form, the register form, remember this form, the ID's name is a register form. So we'll get this in Jquery. We'll say if register.submit, then we want to prevent the default, because when we click submit there, the form will be sent via get variable, but we don't want it to be processed through get variable. That's why we put this in the event that this event means when we click on the button, we want to prevent the default function that takes place when you click a submit button. So that's why we said event is equal to event.prevent default. Then we want to check if value is equal to nothing, then we'll show them this error that username is required, else we are not going to show the error. Then if password as well, the value of password is nothing, if there's nothing that has been typed in there, we're going to show them this, and then we'll return false. When we say return false, it means that it will not process beyond the point that it was supposed to go. Then if user row as well is empty, we'll show them user role is required. If everything they have typed in everything, then we're going to call Ajax. $.ajax, $sign, not dollar in terms of money, $.ajax. Then we'll say URL data/insert.php. So there's this folder which is data. In this data there is insert.php. Then the method is post. Then we're going to say this.serialize. So this function serialize calls all the inputs that have been the name values of the form inputs here. So they were going to call this name value as well as this name value plus this name value when we serialize the form. Then before send, this is just some function that we want to show on the button. Before the form sends to PHP, we want to show on the button that it is loading. Then on success, we call data. Then we say submit button. We want to put back the name or the original name of the button. From loading, we get it back to submit. Then the result div. This is the div that is giving us the results. So we have given it a bootstrap class of alert success and text success, which gives it a green color. And then afterwards we reset the form to 0. We empty everything that is in the form. We reset the form back to normal. So let's check on the insert .php in data. So the first thing that we do is we have to include the database connection. So the database connection is here. So we start the session, then we name the session, then we define the host, which is local host, and then the root, which is root, and then the password. The password is new, it's nothing or it's empty. Then we define the database name, which we named as row-based DB. So let me show you in my SQL database, the database. So we come to localhost PHP my admin. We created a row-based database, and in this database we created a table which we named the all users, which is here. So when I click on all users, I just want you to see. Okay, let me show you the structure of the all users table. It has user ID, it has username, user password, user role, and sign up date. So user ID is an int value, then user name is a varchar with 300 characters, user password is also varchar with 300 characters, user role is a varchar with 20 characters, and sign up date time with a default value of current timestamp. So if we browse through here, you can see the names of the users that have signed up so far, but you can't see their password because we have hashed the password using password hash, which I'll explain later in the insert.php. And then the user role is the role that somebody selects, and then the sign up date is just picks up the current timestamp, the current time that the person creates the account. So this is the table structure that we have in the row DB. So in db.php, we connect to my SQL database using the value connection, which I just abbreviated to con, is equal to new MySQLi host root password DB name. So if let's say, let me make an error, then I show you how crazy it's going to be if I say DB names, and then I go back to my page, I try to refresh. You can see warning, use of undefined constant DB names and assumed DB names. This will throw an error in future version of PHP. So it's already giving us a warning like we are not connected to database. Then as you can see, my SQLi construct and non-database DB names. So we correct it back, we refresh our page, it will show us no error, meaning we're connected to the database. Okay, let me try to make another error. I'll say root, and I refresh. Say access denied for user localhost database role-based name. It's giving us an error, meaning we are not connected to the database. But if I revert back to the normal word, to the normal term, then I refresh this, it shows that there is no error showing us concerning the database. So we are connected to role-based database. So let's get back to insert PHP now. We see how we are inserting the values that somebody pushes in the register form. So we go back to our folder. Let me close this one. Then we open insert. So we include the database connection. Then we say if it is set post username, the username that somebody types in, then we say username is equal to MySQL escape string. So we are escaping, also we are sanitizing the user input. Somebody may type in something that is not required to go into the database. So this function, PHP function, is going to remove any unwanted strings that are pushed in the user input. And this user input exit. If user row is equal to empty, we say user row cannot be empty, we exit. Then password, we say we use a function called password hash, password dot comma password default. So what we are doing here is now we are hashing the password, whatever password somebody types in here, even if they type in 1 2 3 4 5 6, when we're storing it in the database, it will be hashed. It will start as $y/$10, then it converts the other characters into whatever it likes. So as you can see, all these passwords are the same, but in here they will appear very different. So even if somebody got access to our database, they will not be able to read this. And if you got this as the password, let me show you how this will fail to work out. So we copy this, then we go back to our login page, say any, we push in that as our password, then we try to log in, say incorrect username or password. So that's how hashing the password protects you. It changes every character that the user has been has pushed into the password input into something that is unreadable, something that only the computer will understand. Then we say we check if username is already registered. So this is where we say my SQLi query connection. This is the database connection. You say select from all users where username is equal to username, limit 1 or die. We want to throw an error in case this statement is not correct. In case this statement is not correct, this or die MySQLi brackets connection will throw an error to tell us exactly what is happening. Let me give an example. Okay, I'll pass giving an example here, but I'll give an example when it comes to the logging part. Then we say count is equal to MySQLi num rows of this database. So if the name that we've pushed in there is greater than 0, we say username is already registered. Exit, then we exit, meaning we will not send that into the database. Whereas if this is less than 0, we will insert the values, insert into all users the username, the password, and the user row. Then the values are what has been typed into the user input field. And then we'll say if insert is equal to true, we'll echo, hey username, your account has been created, like we were seeing here. So let me gets an error, we see how it's going to be like. I'll remove the sign from there, and then try. So let's create a user. You can see the error that we have. You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to your MariaDB server version for the right syntax to use near from. So this error is telling you that check near this word from all users. So there is something missing somewhere there. So when you get back there, you will see, if you read this statement, from all users where, so you can see that we created an error, and this statement made us see the error. So this is the sign up PHP script. This is going to create a user account. So let's create another account. Say Sean, password 123456, user role admin, then click submit. Hey Sean, your account has been created. So our sign up page is working correct. So remember, so we just created an account for Sean, and the password was 123456. Sean logs in. Okay. Sean, you are admin, total users 5. If we go back to the database, we refresh the database, you can see Sean, but look at the password, what has happened with the password and the time that it was created. Sorry, I had my babies coming to my room where I'm doing the recording from. They came to create a video for themselves from my computer. So I was busy highlighting on the last user that we created, who was Sean, and how the password we typed in 123456, but the password changed to something else that we can't read or on our own. And here we logged in Sean, who is an admin, and you can see that he has users who are current at 5. So Sean will log out and gets back to the index page. So now let's create the login page. I earlier showed you that in the login we included the bootstrap main.css, the jQuery main.js, bootstrap 4.js, and then the person.js. And the person.js, this is where we come to say login form. The hashtag sign is an ID identifier. When we go to the login, this is we named it as a login form. The entire form we named it as a login form. Then here we say login form.submit e.event prevent default. And then say if username dot value is equal to nothing, we will say username is required, as well as if password dot value is equal to nothing, we say password is required. If this whole is true, then we're going to process $.ajax URL, say data/login.php. In the data folder we have login.php, which are open shortly. The method is equal to post, then data we serialize this as well, just like we did in the register form. Then success, we say function equal to function success dash function in brackets data. Then we say alert data. Then when we alert data, we just want to alert the user that you have been logged in, or you have we are giving them back the information that is coming from the login PHP script. So let's say the user has made a different, they have forgotten the password, or they have pushed in the wrong password, or they have pushed in the wrong username. So we'll give them that information, like let's say Sean, okay, Sean's, then we say 1 2 3 4 5 6. So we say, okay, Sean's, you are not registered. Then we get back. The reason why we've gotten back to the index page is because of this function, which says window dash location is equal to dot slash. Then this function turns us back to the index page. Again, say this function takes us back to the index page. Okay, so let's read the login script now in the PHP login script. So we have opened the login.php, which we included the database connection. Then we say if a set was username, just like we did in the register page. We say username is equal to MySQL escape string with the var posts username, password MySQL escape connection. We get the values that have been posted in the login form, and then we process them, we sanitize them, and then we say we want to select from all users where username is equal to the username that has been typed in there, limit 1 or die. Then if my SQLi number of rows is equal to 1, then we say for each query as row. This is where now we have found the user is there. In case the user is not there, we will echo them, you are not registered with us. We can even give them a username like sorry username sorry is not registered, is not registered. Then let's test this in our browser. We just go to the login page. We say when sorry when is not registered. You can see that this is working. Then in case that the user is registered, we say for each query we are now getting that information which we have found in there. Then for us, this means that we have found the username is in there. Then we now want to check the password. If the password that has been typed is equal or is equivalent to the password which we have stored in the database. So this is now how we have to verify that password. As I showed you earlier, that the password gets to be converted with a PHP hash function. It hashes the password into something that is unreadable. So this other function, password verify, confirms the password that has been typed in together with the password that is stored in the database. And if the verification is correct, then we will log in the user. If the verification is not correct, we'll say incorrect password. We could have said incorrect password here. Let me show you. Say echo incorrect password. Let's get back to our login system. We try it. So we'll say Sean, then we'll say password, incorrect password. But if we put it that the password is incorrect, it will be easy for someone to try and hack our system. But so the best way is to give them a message which say incorrect username or password, so that the user will in wrong. So just say incorrect username or password. In the essence that everything is correct, then now we're going to create 2 sessions, a session username and session user role. These are very important aspects for us to identify whether the user who has pushed in their details in the login form, they are admin or they are just ordinary users. So let's get back to the passing.js. So as you can see, when somebody logs in, we are taking them back to the index page, and on the index page we have this PHP script. This is a very important PHP script for us to process the users. So this is saying if the session username is set, then row is equal to session. We just create this variable here, which we created here. Here it was equal to nothing, but here we assign it the session user row, which we created in the login PHP script. Then we say if the row of that person who has typed in their details, who has tried to log in, is equal to admin, then header location admin.php. Let's send them to we send user to admin.php. Else, if the row is equal to user, let's send them user to home.php. home.php. So here, if user logs in, we'll push them back to the index page. But at the index page there, what will happen is, since there is a session that has been created, at that index page, immediately they come to the index page. If their session, if their row is user, let me show in the here where we are creating a session using this user row. So if the value of the user row is user, we'll send them to the home page. If the value of the user row in the user row is admin, then we'll send them to the admin page, like I showed you earlier. So this script is very important. Then let me show you the admin page. In the admin page, then here we are saying we also include the database connection, because in the database connection, that is where we define the session. So by the way, let me show you the admin. Before any session is called, we need to define the session start. Otherwise, if we don't define the session start, we will have errors and we will not be able to log in. So in the admin page, we also include the database connection. Then we say row session row. Then if session username is not set, we send the user back to the index page. We log them out, in short. Else, if session row is set, then we say if session row is equal to user, let's send them to home page. In case the user that has logged in is not admin, we will send them to the home page. We will have the similar PHP script which says if the person who has logged in here is admin, let's send them to admin page. So we are saying header location admin page. So if these functions are not there, actually what these scripts are trying to process is that when you log into the page, like say you log in as Smith, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you log in, Smith logs in, you come here. So if I try to go back here, it will not take me back to another page. It will keep me within the home page. If I try to do this, I try to refresh, I try to go back, it will not take me out of the home page. It will still stick me within here. Apart from that, then we have a logout script. So I'm going to show you a logout script and what the logout script does to log out the person that has that had logged in earlier. So these scripts are very important. Here we have written the script to send user to admin or to send user to the home page. Then in the admin page, we are keeping the user logged in within the home page, within the admin page if they're admin. If they are not admin with their user, we'll send them to the home page. And in the home page, if they're admin, we'll send them to the admin page. And the admin page, I pushed in a PHP script just to show how many number of people have logged in. So we code the session username to say welcome username, which is the session which you created. Then you are admin. This user row is representing admin. Then we say query, we select all from all users where user row is not equal to this row. Row was defined as session row. Then we say total users. We count the number of users who are not admin, and then we show them to the admin. So we log in as Italy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Italy logs in. Then you are admin. Total number of users or total users equal to 5. So this script is here. So welcome session username, which is welcome Italy here. Then you are session user row here. Then this div, we have aligned it to the right, which we queried, and we just counted MySQL number of rows which are in this here, and we counted the rows whose user row is not equal to admin, and then we push the number in here. If we wanted, we could have also coded the individual names or the usernames of the people, but we don't want to take too much time on this. All we want is just to demonstrate a simple row based logging in system. So it gives us the total number of users who are 5. Then the logout script, we also need to start session. We also need to start the sessions with the function session start. Then we unset the session username. We also unset session user row. Then we unset all the sessions that are there. Then we session destroy, and then we call header location, sending them back to the index.php. So when we click here, we are destroying all the sessions, and if there is no session that has been that is there, we send the user back to the index page. Otherwise, this is all that I wanted to show you. Please subscribe to my channel and send me a request on anything that you may want me to create in PHP, Ajax, and Jquery, as well as you can hit the bell button when I post something, that you get a notification, and comment on where you have errors, and I'll get back to you. And if you need the source code for this, just let me know down there, and I'll send it straight to your email as a zipped file. Thank you very much.